everyone. Today's guest we have on the show, Cletus and Bill, who are the CEOs of a renewable energy company in Connecticut. And they're going to be talking about their journey to getting into this industry, some of the things that you want to learn about with the industry trends in the future with renewable energy, and just how they started with this business overall. So please help me welcome Cletus and Bill to the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Thanks for coming. So can you just tell me like how you guys even got into the solar renewable energy system, the industry overall?
Honestly, I'd say a big thing was just networking with people and just an opportunity presented itself and I just took it. So one thing about me is I was always big on telling my peers my goals. I always had big goals.
Yeah.
Always was the one to just tell people my goals and all the things I want to do. And just one day a peer just came to me and just basically said, hey, I know a buddy that's in the solar industry doing X amount of money. I'm like, okay, it sounds good.
Right.
Until I just did my own research and just fell in love with the renewable energy space. And the rest was just history. I just took the opportunity and ran with it. Where we kind of like looked into more so on the sales part of things, where we were middlemen in solar sales for a bunch of different companies. And then I just realized I went to trade school and the majority of my family is in the trade. So one of my close friends, he had his E1 license. So I'm like, instead of just doing the sales side of things, why don't we just do everything in-house from A through Z?
Yeah.
And the rest has been history, honestly.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, instead of just like working on like the day-to-day, okay, let's get one sale and that's it. But like, how can you consolidate that and give them everything from start to finish,
Absolutely.
Right? That's good. And then I know you're more focused on off-grid systems. So can you like tell me how you got into that and what that looks like for you?
Him telling us about it, really, if I'm being honest, him telling us the vision, showing us the vision and constantly talking about it. I did my research and did my due diligence and I seen the potential that the space had. And we literally been just going day to day, just diving into it, learning more, just working it out. That's really it. I just fell in love with the whole game.
The whole process.
The whole process.
That's good. And I think a lot of people are like in an industry, right, could just make money. But it seems like you guys like actually have care and passion about it. And it's like, can you kind of just like talk about like the benefits of people? Like, you know, you're providing a service to people and providing something that's going to benefit them. So can you just like talk about that, like, you know, how you're really making an impact to families when you're doing this?
First and foremost, renewable energy is the future in a sense. It reduces carbon emissions, so we're providing something that's good for the environment. When we talk about benefiting families, we're providing a solution to families that's reducing utility bills in a sense, because as you know, utility providers are like a monopoly in a sense. If they want to raise their rate tomorrow, what can you say? You're in a contract with the utility company for the rest of your life. With something like solar, it's an end date to that. So based on what are you using each year on your energy usage, if you don't go above what the solar system is producing, in a sense, once you're done paying off your solar system, you don't necessarily have to pay. You're not attached to a utility company anymore. You're always going to be connected to the grid, but you're not in a forever relationship with the utility company.
Right. So it seems like it's more like an investment, right? You're kind of investing in this and maybe a little hefty up front, but then once you kind of pay that off, the end goal is now you won't have a hefty whatever bill, whatever your provider is, and now your panels are paid off, right?
Yeah, for sure. One thing I always tell homeowners whenever I speak to homeowners is, what was your electricity bill 5 years ago, and what was your bill now?
Yeah,
it's a big difference in what those utility bills is, and now it gives us more so of a push to basically show them that the renewable energy route, especially solar, is the way to go.
Yeah, exactly. It is, and also like not just solar. Like I want to talk about the off grid a little bit more too, because I know a lot of people that might have like I deal with a lot of real estate investors too, and they might have a mobile home park or something like that. So like, what about them too? Like having their own off grid solution too for their properties.
I feel like it's with CT off grids, it's kind of building a gap between the average traditional solar and then the off grid side of things. So I feel like it's giving people an opportunity to taste their own freedom in a sense. So it's giving your first taste of freedom. Like I'm not connected to the grid and I'm still getting power. I'm still getting the same resources at a way discounted price.
Yeah.
And like I said, we always talk about it's like an advertiser before you go to the main course.
Exactly. That's one of our key phrases. I'll give you the appetizer, but that's exactly how it started. It started by just a friend wanting solar, but he just a lot of people. It's the truth is the truth. A lot of people feel like solar is too ugly to put on their roof. It's okay. Everybody's
exactly.
I'm not gonna just deny that in a sense, but we do it more so on the saving side of things. But we knew somebody that wanted solar, but he didn't want to put it on his roof, and he didn't believe in solar traditionally. So he said, "Hey, I want to support you guys, but instead of putting it on my roof, let's put it on my shed." Okay. And we put it on his shed. He used it to kind of like do all his outside lighting fixtures and things of that nature, power tools and things of that nature. And then he just fell in love with it. Now, we gave him the appetizer. After he see that it's working now he wants the main dish. So it's a win-win for us in a sense.
That's so cool. I mean, now that you say that too, because my dad has solar panels and he got it years ago, maybe 10 years ago now. And he had the same thing. Like, they look ugly, put it on the back of the house. Puts it on the back of the house, but now it's not getting enough sun. So he's like, oh man, like I should have put it on the front of the house. So it's good that there's another alternative for the people who think it's ugly still, right? To have it there. Yeah, I didn't realize that you could put on the shed, but still get the same benefits like that.
I mean, that's more so on the off-grid side of things. It's not traditional. So if you want to save a lot of money, I would say go more so on the traditional side of things. But the off-grid side of things are for more so. We tailored it to more so the starters, people like, let's say RVs, sheds, people that want to do it on the small side of things that are not necessarily ready for that traditional route yet, which is okay.
Right. Exactly.
I'm not going to, like, one thing we don't do is force people to try to make a decision, because I feel like education is key in this industry. So educating people on what's going on. First of all, if solar is even in a right fit for you, because a lot of the times we have a lot of clients, hey, I want to go solar. We put the solar into our design system, and it's like the roof is red. It's too many trees around. Now you got to think about cutting the trees. That's the night. Now it's not. This won't benefit you in the long run because the price tag is too high in a sense. We want to see. We want to make sure our customers see immediate savings in a sense.
Yeah, and I feel like that's. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
That's one of the biggest reasons why we tailored towards the CT off grid was because it's bridging the gap and it's creating a learning experience for you. It's helping you understand, okay, this is what we need for it to be able to work proper. This is the sunlight we need. This is the resources and things like of that nature. And then once you understand and you're comfortable with it, then maybe you'll consider going to more of the traditional side and things of that nature.
That's interesting. And I do want to touch on that also because especially with you're mainly handling off grid and if I have like some investor friends, they're doing mobile home parks and stuff. What does that look like if they were to invest in their own off grid? Now, do they like just is their tenants benefiting off of it, or are they like charging them a bill? Like how would that look like for the people that are on their grid? So
mainly it's personalized towards you. So it's one fixed cost. Okay. So instead of like the traditional route where it's like you're connected to the grid, so you still have to pay a utility bill. But the off-grid side of things is one fixed cost. So okay, the upfront cost is a little more higher, but then you don't have the constant billing every month. So it kind of helps, but it's personalized to you. It's in a way is your way to kind of disconnect it from everybody else. Exactly. So it's like you can have your own power. It's no fluctuation within the prices as far as how much usage you use. And you might have to go get a bigger system if you're using more, but in a sense, it's not as bad because it's tailored towards you and it's taste of freedom a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. You're kind of free from the bigger utility industry.
Yes.
Got it. So I think solar is still it's been around for a lot of time now, but I think like being introduced into like everyone's lives is still kind of new. And I think people don't really know a lot about it and the benefits. So is there any like misconceptions at least that, that are common that they, client might bring up to you about it?
That's the biggest selling point is basically, like I said, education is key. So we get a lot of, what if the roof starts leaking? That's very, very common. And that's a very good question for us because one thing we always tell people is we haven't had a situation where the roof has been leaking after we've done the installation, but mistakes can happen. If it does happen, we warranty we warranty any mistakes we make on the roof. So if a leak happens where we put solar, we have to come out and fix that. That's in our agreement to the customer. Just doing the right business is essential for us. I mean, customer appreciation and showing the customer the right way
Yeah.
is important, because one negative review could damage your whole reputation, damage your whole business.
Exactly.
So that's very important.
Go and fix, repair, and make it right again.
Exactly.
Yeah. And what about the off-grid? Is there anything that like someone would be like kind of opposed to it or against it, like for any reason?
I mean, more just people changing with the times and adapting. So it's like maybe if it's a certain demographic of people don't understand the game, it might be hard to get through them. So it's tough in that sense. But people who are younger, not even younger in a sense, who have more knowledge and have more resources, understand. Okay, this is where we're moving into in the future. Because as far as having a safe plan and things of that nature. So it's just part of the game. It's adapting and growing. So it's,
no matter if you like it or not, because
it's here.
It's going to happen.
It's here.
For instance, one thing that we're planning on getting to in the next couple of months is EV charging stations.
Oh, nice.
I was never a big EV fan. But the truth is the truth. EVs are going to be the future of what we drive in the future. It's just so much cheaper for everybody. If your payment is rather $200 than $1,000, sooner or later, what you think majority of people will do?
Yeah, they're gonna go the cheaper
It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody, but it'll put a place to where it'll be, the EV charging station will be the new gas stations in a sense.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of people don't want to get an EV, like, oh, where do you charge? Like, I have an EV, and they're like, oh, you got to stop and charge. I'm like, well, yeah, there's not a lot, but then once you get them in your home, and then once you power it up that way, long distances might be difficult. But I think there's going to be more and more coming up, and now that you're installing it, and it's actually a fact. They're going to be doing away with gas cars. So it's like, 100%. It's better to adapt now before you're forced to, right?
100%.
And that's why we're trying to get ahead of the curve in a sense right now and do it right now. So the next 5 years, now it's like, oh, we look like geniuses in a sense.
You're going to get a head start.
We've seen the vision.
Yeah, and then you're going to be like installing the EV charger. Like, where are you installing that? Is it for corporations or homeowners?
Everything in a sense. So we'll do residential. Residential will be more so for level 2 charges. And then also we'll do level 2 and level 3 charges for more so parking lots, corporate offices, apartment complexes, apartment buildings, and just things of that nature. A lot of parking lots, and we'll do something where we'll split revenue sharing with whoever owns the property to kind of benefit both ends.
That's really good, right? So, and especially that too, because I think especially with the off-grid, there's a lot of like other incentives too, right? So you could do like revenue share, and then there's also some like tax benefit or maybe some incentives for like business owners, right? For their off-grid.
Yes,
30%
tax federal.
Wow.
So it's a good incentive, and we're not trying to sell anybody. I feel like that's the biggest thing is what he taught me from because he had two years on me in the game.
Yeah.
What he taught me was you don't have to sell nobody the solar. It sells itself.
Yeah.
It gives you tax benefits. Is you, especially with the off-grid side, is your taste of freedom, is an advertising towards a major. So it sells itself. So we're not trying to sell anybody, but it's great benefits to having solar.
Right.
And one thing I always do tell people, solar is not for everyone.
Yeah.
So that's very important. So where it's like, I'm not just trying to sell you solar. If solar makes sense for you, I think you should go solar. But if it doesn't make sense for you and you don't see a lot of savings, don't go solar.
Maybe not. Exactly.
Yeah,
then maybe not. But I think it's good, and it's not even just selling, but you're just educating people on the benefits because a lot of people just don't know, right? And then especially for business owners, you can have that potential for revenue share, but then also the tax benefits that they get. And you have a lot of business owners trying to figure out at the end of the year, how can they alleviate their taxes to pay less taxes? And it seems like they can get some tax benefits or even incentives, right?
Yes.
100%.
Yeah. So that's good. I mean, I think there's a lot, and it's not even just selling, but I really want to talk about that too. Just like with the business perspective, I know you guys are in partnership. So like, how does that look like for you guys that, you started this new company, like what is your roles in it and how are you guys working together with that?
I'll say more so I'm on the, I'm overall seer of everything because I have the experience in the Sunquest Solar and I kind of just passed that knowledge on to him just because we're very close. And we also have the CT Off-Grid Solution Company together. So everything that I learned from the Sunquest Solar, it's like I don't want to do any more mistakes that I made already in the first company to the second company in a sense. So that's one thing I do. And more so on the branding side of things, networking. And I feel like with branding, when you're doing a new company, that's very important.
Yeah.
So social proof and things of that nature, people want to see the results.
Yeah.
That's very important for
Yeah,
people.
exactly. Want to see the finished product.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They want to see how what is the customer saying about this company.
Right. Right. They wanna
When you order anything online, you want to see the reviews before you order it.
Yeah. Oh, I don't go to a restaurant without the reviews.
Exactly my point. So
Yeah, I can't go anywhere. I'm like, let me see the reviews first. No,
Yeah.
I'm not going.
that's
Yeah,
where I
yeah.
come in, and then you.
I control more the operation side. So the
Okay.
day-to-day operations, making sure we're staying on timeline, we're staying on track, and there's
Yeah.
overall customer experience. So make sure if they have any problems or questions, they'll come to me and we'll talk about it as a team and try to get it resolved and get it fixed. So that's my biggest role in the CT off grid right now, obviously, and learning. I mean, like he said, he has SunQuest Solar
Yeah.
before me. So a lot of times when we sitting and we're talking, I'm just soaking up knowledge and soaking up game because he has the blueprint of how to grow a successful company in the renewable energy space. So a lot of stuff is I'm learning just like everybody else also. So
yeah,
I'm still,
never stop.
I'm still learning myself. I
Yes,
wouldn't call myself an expert yet, just because
Yeah.
I'm relatively still new in the game. So
Yeah.
I'm always reaching out to people on LinkedIn, always
Yes.
doing my research, just because I feel like in the renewable energy space, you can't never stop learning.
In any space.
Can never stop learning.
Can never stop, yeah.
The moment where you feel like you're too successful, it's like I feel like it's the moment you start going downhill.
yeah.
The day I stop learning is the day I stop doing business.
Exactly.
Because you have to keep continuously, and going back to that too about people not being able to adapt with the solar things. It's like you have to kind of tap out of that old phase, right? We're always constantly evolving. If we can't evolve with what today's world is, like we're gonna get, people are gonna get left behind.
Exactly.
100%.
So, and I do want to talk about that too. Like, so you're mainly focusing on that, the off-grid solution. So, like, who is your like typical customer? Is it mostly homeowners doing this, or mostly businesses?
I would say more homeowners. More
Okay.
we kind of tell to the more the residential side. So more homeowners. I feel like in a sense because it's a high fixed cost to start off.
Yeah.
So I would say we tailor more to not the upper echelon, but people who are okay. We're trying to get into the solar game, but we want to learn. We want to have more knowledge about it. So
Okay.
Take it easy.
Yeah.
We'll start there and kind of bridge the gap. That's all. Is it? The CT off grid is giving you a taste. So we're tailored towards more homeowners and people who just want to gain knowledge about the renewable energy space.
And with the CT off grid, I feel like we're able to kind of like put this in different states fast.
Yeah.
Because it's on the small side of things. It's low ticket, but everybody wants an appetizer.
Yeah.
And then I'm Caribbean too, so I know if I was to, when is the time to bring this to, I'm from St. Lucia, so when is the time to bring this to St. Lucia? The grids are not super strong, so, and it's a lot of rural areas in St. Lucia, but as we know, the Caribbean always has sun.
Yes, they do. Exactly.
So if it has sun, solar will do amazing there. So
Wow. So that's your bigger picture, bigger vision is to really like establish it here and then bring it back home.
my bigger picture is to make St. Lucia one of the best Caribbeans out there with renewable energy.
Besides Jamaica.
Jamaica is great too.
Yeah.
But St. Lucia, I want to basically put St. Lucia on the forefront of renewable energy.
Right. That's amazing. I love that. Like when you have like a bigger goal than that, just okay, I have a solar company, let me see how many sales I can get. It seems like you're really just not even focused on the sales. You're just only focusing on the business and just like the benefits of other people and what you can do with that and how you can even build that from there. Right?
Exactly. Because if you can do it in the United States, you can do it anywhere.
Yeah, that's what I said. Especially the New York area. If you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. Yeah. So, and speaking of that, like the areas, like you are in Connecticut, right? That's where SunQuest's base is. But Off-Grid Solutions, is that everywhere also? Is it mainly
That's just in Connecticut as well, too.
So we're targeting Fairfield County area, Naugatuck Valley area. So we're basically Connecticut.
Okay.
For right now, yep. Until, like he said, we branch off and then CT off grid is off grid. So you can go to different states and franchise. That's later down the line. Right now we focused on just
building a company.
Building the company. That's amazing. So you're starting off there, but then you're gonna keep it growing.
Exactly.
Interesting. So I think we talked enough about solar. I want to know more about like how you guys you guys are young, right? Young business owners. Like what does that look like for you? Like, can you just share any challenges or just any like motivation for people that just want to tap into a different industry like that, but they might say, I don't know, I'm too young. I don't really know much about it. Can you just like share what your experience was?
I always tell people this: the journey won't be easy, but it's not hard.
Yeah.
The journey won't be easy, but it's not hard. So it's a mindset thing.
Yeah.
Anything you want to do, you could just put your mind to it and just go. I've always been an entrepreneur by heart.
Yeah.
Ever since middle school, high school, always the guy to sell candy.
Yeah, same.
Sold out by 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Always, I just always was in me.
Yeah.
So it was in me, honestly, but I do feel like anybody can do this.
Yeah.
You just have to go and just do it. And then one thing I always tell people is you will make mistakes. I made thousands of dollars of mistakes.
Yes.
Trust me. And also bring people along with you that are just like you in a sense, that see the vision and that could, like, for instance, one of my other partners, he's more so on the computer side of things. He do like a lot of backlinks, SEO and things of that nature. So he handles all of that. My other partner, they're electricians. I can't go on the roof.
Yeah.
I can, but I don't want to.
Like, I'll stay on the ground. I'll stay on the ground. Yeah.
So you're having different people that's rowing the boat so the boat could go straight. One person, you just can't row one side.
Exactly.
So surrounding yourself with very positive people. And one thing about me is I have a lot of mentors.
Nice. Yeah.
So I'm always asking questions.
Yeah.
Never afraid to ask any questions. Just always learn.
Yeah.
Just do it, and then you'll learn as you go.
Right.
Hey, all right, we messed up here. Let's make sure we write this down so we can't do this going forward.
Yeah.
If you don't, that's the biggest thing. Just do it, and then you'll learn as you go.
Exactly. And you learn from experience, right? You won't learn like any course or anything. It's not going to teach you.
You have
exactly
to just do it. You will make mistakes no matter what. You will make mistakes.
100%. You can't avoid that.
Yes.
But what about you? So is this like, were you from a business family, or are you new to this also? Or?
Kind of to piggyback off, I come from a business family.
Nice.
My mom, my dad, they had businesses and things of that nature, and I failed a lot. Like we talk about it all the time in college and high school. I failed a lot. I mean, from trying to sell shoes to trying to do anything to make some money, but I failed a lot. I mean, and it taught me a lot about business, about life, and obviously us having a football background, having that resilience, being able to adapt and grow. Yeah. So I come from a family of that, and also surrounding myself with great people. Like the other business that I started, he told me about it too.
Oh, look at that!
So it's like just surrounding yourself with business-minded people who are driven in a sense, and it's natural. I mean, eventually it'll click, but I failed a lot. So when people see from inner cities or see people that made it big, understand that they made it big, but they might have failed 1,000 times before that. So you can't
so many times.
You can't be afraid of the failures. I mean, it come with the game.
You have to embrace it.
You got to embrace it. So that's my whole gist.
No, but it makes sense. And like you said, like being able to surround yourself with people, right? Like we can't do this alone. No matter how many, nobody's self-made. It's like someone's always had somebody that has motivated them, or at least introduced them to a different concept to adapt, get into that thing, right?
Yes.
So that's good. So what kind of things are you doing like to just like stay on top of that, right? Because we're in a business world, right? Social media can be a little distracting and make us want to shift. What helps you keep yourself grounded? So what you're focused on, and then keeping yourself with a good circle.
I journal, and I also write my goals every single day. I have daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, yearly goals. I feel like that's very important for any entrepreneur trying to succeed. So basically aligning your goals with what you want to accomplish with your day-to-day activities. Yeah. So that's one of the biggest things for me.
Yeah. Like, do you have any?
Same thing for me. I mean, doing my day-to-day things, like whether it's constantly doing self-growth things in a sense. I'm not gonna get too much into it, but faith-centered. So a lot of my stuff is I have a certain regimen that I have to follow every day, and it's constantly being that. And with me making a move, being from Baltimore, Maryland, me coming to Fairfield County and just being around people, it's different. It's different when you walk out the door. You're surrounded with certain type of people. It's a different level, a different energy. So that was my biggest thing, is getting around people like you guys, everybody in this room. So I would say that, and just following my regimen. I'm strict. I'm disciplined. Obviously, it's the football. If I can be honest,
we went through the worst, so nothing could really break us.
Nothing could break you. I think people with a sports background, like we kind of learn early, like what discipline looks like, right? You have to make practice. You can't be late. You got to do your I think that definitely helps, right, with your mindset for business, like having that like drill. Oh, I can't miss a practice. I can't,
100%.
fall out of line, right?
Yes.
100%.
And also, I'll say reading too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Staying up
That
to date
is-
every single week in your industry. What is going on in the renewable energy sector?
Yeah.
What's the
is happening?
trends? What are
Yeah.
people, and also feedback from your customers.
Yeah.
Hey, what can we have done differently? What did you like? What do you not like? Honest too, very
Yeah,
honest,
yeah.
and take what they say and
Yeah.
take it to heart, because the customer is what makes the company. You rely on the customer to give you 5 other reviews.
Yeah, yeah. You have to. But that's good that you guys are really focusing on your customer satisfaction. And there's probably tons of other solar companies out there. So that's definitely what's going to set you apart, having good reviews, good feedback. But also, like, how are you making your presence known as a new solar company, right? There's probably tons of other companies out there. Like, how are you making your presence known?
Honestly, we focused on a niche market. I remember one time we went to speak with a person that I look as a mentor, Albert. He's the CEO of Axelite. So we're saying, hey, Albert, we want to scale. And he embarrassed us.
Wow.
Embarrassed us. Like, you want to scale, but you don't have this.
Ooh.
You think and I'm like, wow.
Oh, so you got a reality check.
Reality check. And he said, you're making so much money off of this side. So, and then you want to basically have a solar sales team. He said, you're a service company.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
we said, you know what? Let's focus on the service side of things, and the rest has been history. So we do what a lot of the big solar companies avoid doing, because it's more so on the low side of things. So we service a lot of things. So let's say if a homeowner has solar, they're getting a new roof, we'll do a removal and reinstall.
Okay.
Easy, in and out. Maintenance checks, troubleshooting, and things of that nature. And we also get calls from a lot of other solar companies. Hey, we have
Really?
this, but we have a bunch of fresh installs we have to take care of. So here. So
wow.
they're giving us work for free. Now we have a niche that we're relatively no competition in our market. So we tailored on the Sunquest Solar side of things. We tailored our solar company on the service side first, and we'll take fresh installs as they come. So we won't go out of our way for a fresh install, but if it comes to us, somebody calls the company number, we'll take it.
Wow.
But we serve it. We're a service first based company first, and then we also tailor to fresh installs as well.
Wow, that is so interesting, especially like if they're not really focusing on maintenance and everything like that, and they're like, "Hey, I'll pick this up." If if the bigger guys aren't doing it, then I'll do it.
Yes, I'd rather have a piece of the pie than the whole pie.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Especially if everybody else in the pie is giving you a piece of theirs too.
Yeah, exactly. That is so good. Now, are these like other companies also doing off grid? Or are you guys really just implementing that in the area?
I feel like it's fairly new. Like a lot of people aren't tailored towards just off grid in a sense. So I feel like it is fairly new. So we're kind of one of the, not innovators, but we're new to this space, and we're in a sense trying to grow this space. I feel like for our marketing tactic is we're not even selling the solar because we know the solar works. We're selling freedom, and we're selling us, our partners. We're selling the business, the relationship. But the solar will sell itself. I know it will because I seen it. I believe it, and I am, and like it. I see the vision. So it's the solar is not hard to sell, but we're more so selling the freedom of off the grid.
Yeah,
that's exactly. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, off grid.
Yeah,
that's good. I mean, I think it's really important. So, like, thank you guys for just like educating people on it and just like shutting down any misconception that people might think about it, like like the negatives, because everyone tends to look at negatives first, right before the pod. They're always like, "Well, what's the catch?" Because it's too good to be true, right?
It's a lot of it's a lot of sales rep that lies and say, "Hey, if you're using annually 15,000 kilowatt hours, they'll say we could produce your system that's 15, but you're really only producing them a system that's 12,000.
So they try to oversell what they really produce.
Exactly. They're not showing the customer exactly what the system can produce. And now after a year by and the homeowner still has a hefty utility bill, now it's, solar's a scam, this and that. You hear it a lot. I always tell homeowners education is key. So get more than one quote.
For anything.
So I always tell we won't be the cheapest, but we won't be the highest.
Exactly.
And then just look into who you're doing business with. If you want to do it's up to you.
Anything.
I'm not going to push you into making any decision.
Yeah.
It's education.
That's why I said I tied it back into we're not trying to sell a soda. We're selling us. We're selling
Yes, yeah.
us having a company, having integrity, and having good communications, and being men of our word
Yeah.
or women of our word. That's big. That's bigger than selling a soda itself. Because at the end of the day, if we're being honest, sometimes you don't care about what you're buying.
Yeah.
You care more about the relationship that you're gaining or the people that you're buying it from. So we're
Right.
selling obviously freedom with CT Off Grids, and we're selling Bill and Cleo,
Yeah.
Bill and whoever, or
Exactly.
Cletus and his partner. So it's
Yeah.
you're selling the relationship and the people more than you selling the soda
Right.
itself.
It's longevity.
Yeah,
I want
it
5-10 years from now, a customer I dealt with back in the day, hey, I'm moving, or hey, I have an aunt that just bought a new house. That would mean a lot.
Yeah.
That means you did an awesome job of your
Yes.
company that 5 years later, 10 years later, they're still calling your number
Yeah.
for your services.
Yeah, and I think it's also important that people can see you, right? Because I think a lot of corporations, like I don't know any solar company owners, right? But I know a lot of solar companies. I think it's important that they see you guys, right? Like you are people. You're not just a corporation. You're not just a business. You guys are people, and those relationships will definitely carry on. So
100%.
That's very true. So that's one thing I always say is like, my dad owns a plumbing company, so I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have a website.
Yeah,
Nothing.
it's all just word of
His
mouth.
phone
right?
rings every single day. So
yeah. They just naturally get business.
Exactly.
It's good. But I do have one last question for you guys. It's from the Dire CEO podcast. I have like really good, intriguing questions. So
Okay.
you guys can both answer that question.
what is a personal legacy you want to leave for yourself/children? For myself, I want to create a world where my children never have to basically struggle for anything in their life. Even their kids as well. So that's one thing I strive to do every day, is just work hard and put my head down and just go on and get it. To leave my last name, I want my last name to be a very strong last name in this world.
Street in St. Lucia.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I would say for my legacy, obviously to build generational wealth, but also to inspire people and motivate my kids and their kids to be the sky's the limit. Like dream big, chase your dreams and go after it. I mean, you only live once. So I feel like that's my biggest thing, is just spreading your wings, breaking generational curses or generational stereotypes. And so that's my biggest, one of my biggest goals.
I love that. That's amazing. Well, thank you guys. Just let them know where they can find more about you guys and your companies, and then just how they can follow from there.
You can find me on LinkedIn, Cletus Matherin.
Same, you can follow me LinkedIn, Billy Wooden.
Yeah, and then SunQuest Solar.
SunQuest Solar, CT Off Grid Solutions.
There you go.
Thank you so
guys
much
for tuning in.
Thank you.
Thank you.